Bengals 1-3, Ravens 2-2. Huge game. Ravens are favored by 2.5 points at Cincinnati. And as Burrow said, he needs to be damn near perfect. And I don't know whether that's enough. He looked pretty good against the Commanders a week and a half ago. If the defense isn't going to hold up its end of the bargain, that's the problem. So the Bengals can pull off the upset if they what, Devin?
Joe Burrow has to throw for over 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, because you just said it. I don't know if they can stop this Baltimore offense. So if they can't stop this Baltimore offense, he has to go and have one of those games that is old school Joe Burrow, throwing the ball all around. T. Higgins needs to have a big game. Jamar Chase needs to have a big game. It just has to be one of those games where they score a lot of touchdowns, but also maybe Burrow runs for another touchdown or Zach Moss scores 2 touchdowns. Like, they're going to need to really outscore this Baltimore outfit. And this is the problem sometimes with starting slow in a season. Of now, you're going to play a Baltimore Ravens team who also didn't start the season exactly how they wanted to, but now over the last 2 weeks, they look like they found their stride and know exactly how they want to play. And now for Cincinnati, you're kind of in a must-win against a team who's figured itself out while also winning football games. So now there's a ton of pressure on you.
And I'm going to flip it around. I think the Bengals only pull this upset if they can contain Derrick Henry. He has been spectacular the past couple of weeks. 151 yards week 3, 190 plus or thereabouts. I think 199. He was right up on 200. Week 4, he's closing in on 10,000 for his career and 100 touchdowns. They got to control him. He's, surprisingly low on the MVP odds. He's been great so far. They need to contain him if they're going to have any chance to win this game, and they need this one badly. What a difference between 1-4, 3-2, or both teams at 2-3. That's why I love these divisional games. It's a huge swing, and it's even though it's week 5, the outcome is something that will resonate into January.
Yeah, and you talk about having to stop Derrick. I just don't know how. They haven't played well up front defensively when it comes to stopping the run, and they have injuries. So now you've already struggled in that department, and now we believe that you're going to go play against Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. I think it's going to be a tall task to ask that defense to come out there and get stops, series after series, and putting your hand in the ground and stopping Derrick Henry, especially as the game continues to go on. So as much as it pains me to say this as a defensive guy, I think their best defense is going to be Burrow on that offense scoring a lot of points.
All right, Vikings and Jets play Sunday morning. The weekend is wrapped up with Chiefs at Saints on Monday night. The Vikings and the Chiefs are both 4-0. Who's most likely to get their first loss this weekend? The Vikings, who are favored by 2.5 on a neutral site, or the Chiefs, who are 5.5-point favorites in the Superdome?
I think it pains me to say it, but I think it's the Chiefs. I think it's more likely they lose to the Saints. And it speaks more about who these teams are playing against than themselves, because I think the Chiefs have gone through a lot, losing Rashee Rice last week. I think they're the team that can figure this out. I think the first week post Rashee Rice being injured, I think it will be the hardest week that they'll have to figure out and get things going. I think they're going to get the game plan where just take Kelsey out, hold up across the board, keep a safety deep to make sure Xavier Worthy can't hurt you. I think they'll get somewhat of that game plan, pack the middle, don't let Travis Kelsey have a ton of catches. And I think the Saints have, what they can do on offense and score some points and hopefully challenge this Chiefs defense. But again, I think the Chiefs will count on that defense not to do it. On the other side with Minnesota, we don't know what Jets team we're going to get. You said it earlier. We have no idea what we're going to see from the Jets. And I think we know what we're going to see from Minnesota. We're going to see a team that's prepared to have a lot of different looks on defense. The key for Minnesota will be, can they impact Aaron Rodgers? He's really sliced up teams that have played zone and teams that have played man they've struggled with. But Minnesota, as exotic as they are, it ultimately falls back into mostly zone defense. So can Aaron Rodgers figure that out and have enough time to get the ball where it needs to go consistently, to me, will be the test. And I don't know if they're ready to do that in London, Sunday morning.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the factors, the easier pick is the Chiefs more likely to lose because, like you said, we don't know what Jets team is going to show up. And we know what's going to happen in New Orleans. It's going to be loud. It's going to be raucous. This is a team that had started 2-0, lost 2 in a row, could have won both of those games, and now are at a crossroads, early season crossroads. You don't want to fall under 500 the way that you got started. And this is an opportunity to reassert yourself as a true contender. Not only are we 3-2, we beat the Chiefs. We put the first L on the Chiefs, and this is the time to get them. The first game without Rashee Rice. They didn't do anything this week to replace him, so it's next man up. And I think the Saints defensively, with the game plan that Dennis Allen will put together, Derek Carr has gone toe-to-toe with Patrick Mahomes in the past, and he hasn't been, well, he may have gotten one win, but that's better than none. I mean, the Chiefs did have their way with that division when Carr was there, but I remember that game where they drove the buses around Arrowhead Stadium after John Gruden and Derek Carr pulled off the victory over the Chiefs. So I think you're right. The Chiefs are the more likely to lose. Maybe they both lose this weekend.
Are you excited? Maybe they both lose. Excited. Minnesota. Don't do it, Florio. Stay positive. Your team is undefeated. Be happy. Be a joyful fan.
The Vikings were 5-0 in 2016, and they didn't make the playoffs. So I got a long way to go before I rekindle. And here's what happens. On those rare occasions where the Vikings have a season where they progress deep into the playoffs, it causes years of memories to come rushing back to me growing up with my parents and when the Vikings were actually good every year. And my son and I were talking the other night, hey, if they make it to the conference championship, NBC, we're done. I can go. We can go. And my son's like, do we really want to go? Do we really want to experience that? They've lost 6 conference. I've told him, man, you made this choice yourself. They've lost 6 conference championships in a row since their last Super Bowl appearance. All right, Cowboys Steelers. Take your pick. Who will the Cowboys defense miss more, Micah Parsons or DeMarcus Lawrence? I think we know the answer to this one.
Yeah, I'm going Micah Parsons, strictly because of his versatility and what he can do on the football field. But it's hard because both those guys are kind of like 1A, 1B for that defense and what they've been able to do.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.